Hey everyone, it's late at night and I'm Norman. I've owned the black dial Timex Marlin Reissue for a bit over a year now, so let's do an updated review of it. And here is the little guy. Sadly, the Timex Marlin doesn't get a ton of wrist time. Not that I don't like it, but it kind of gets outshined by pieces like the Max Bill and now the Pole Router. But I have high hopes for the Marlin in 2022. I love these little Timex Marlins. I love them so much I own 2 of them. Here is the strap that it shipped on. It's just an affordable lizard embossed leather strap. It's kind of stiff. I haven't really worn it, although I do love this aesthetic. I think at some point I'll get a decent quality lizard grain and try it on here, because this aesthetic looks really great with the vintage cues of this watch. But when I first got it, I was anxious to see what it looks like on one of my shell Cordovans, and that is what I've had it on ever since I got it. The lugs on these watches are small and elegant and drilled, which is super handy. I absolutely love the flying saucer case shape. So perfect for a watch that's essentially a modern day vintage watch. The crown is pretty small, so it's kind of a nightmare to wind these. And winding them feels like winding a vintage watch. You'll notice that after a year, I don't have any scratches really on this case. So even though it's polished, it holds up pretty well. So we'll wind this all the way up. We'll pop this crown out. I actually kind of like the way it's inset like that, even though it's not so friendly to wind it. Pop this out. And it feels great when you're setting it. And as you can see, it hacks, which is pretty great. Now, I believe in the original review of this watch, I pointed out how this minute hand kind of jumps when you're pushing the crown back in. So what I usually do is I'll set it where I want it, like just beyond, and then I'll back it up just a little bit. Then when I pop it in, it's fine. It doesn't jump at all. Otherwise, if I were to set it here, you can see it kind of jumped a little bit. Sometimes it's worse than other times. That one wasn't too bad, but I've had it jump at least a full minute or more. The crystal on these watches is absolutely amazing. If you look at it from side view, you'll see that the crystal almost makes up half of the height of this watch. It's just super fun. I love the idea of having a dressy watch that has some fun elements to it. The font on these watches is just amazing. Again, I find the balance of dressy and fun in these watches to be just perfect. And look at the sunburst on that dial. It's subtle, but it looks great. I like the hand shape. I like how minimal the seconds hand is, but it just looks pretty elegant. Looking at the case back, I kind of like the shape of it, how it's concave around here and then it gets flat in the middle there. We have some information. The case is stainless steel, which is pretty cool. It's not coated. These watches retail for about $200. You could probably find them cheaper on eBay. I know I found my silver dialed one on Amazon, and amazingly, that was $80 even though it was new. I'm not sure what happened there, but I snatched that one up quickly. The caseback just snaps in, and here we have a little access point where you can stick a case knife in there and pop that off easily. Alright, so I dug out my beat up old calipers and did some measuring. With these hand winding reissue watches, I think the case size will be a problem for a lot of people because these are only 34 millimeters. The lug to lug is 41 millimeters. The case height, including that amazing crystal, is 11 millimeters. The lug width is 18 millimeters. And I believe the movement within this is a modified Seagull ST6. And that was according to an article that I had read where they dug through Reddit, and that was what one person had uncovered, but Timex never really specifies the movements that are in here. But the ST6 is actually an automatic movement. So if they did go with that, they modified it to be a hand winder. Very interesting. So let me take off the pull router and we'll see what the Timex Marlin looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And here is the Marlin Reissue on my 7-inch wrist. And it looks brilliant. They are smaller, so if you're not used to vintage size watches, this will probably be a shock for you. And there are other Timex watches that are in larger sizes. They don't look quite like this, but they are out there. And that is just cool. Look at that crystal. It's so much fun to look down and see that, see all those distortions. I love me some box crystal. So cool. It's dressy, it's elegant, and yet it's still lots of fun. And I really think a couple $100 is not bad for this watch. Gorgeous. So there you have it, a great little watch that's actually pretty affordable and really true to its vintage roots. Thanks for watching.